Hello, welcome back to the channel. Welcome back to the RDA. Manchester United take on Burnley in what is a quick turnaround from that Newcastle result, which I'm still not over. Woke up angry once again, I would say for no reason, but we all know the reason. It's just United. I woke up just angry. I'm like, why am I angry? And I'm like, United, they're not good for my health. So smash a like on the video, subscribe if you're new. We'll talk about this game. But before we get into this up and coming game, Malota, how are you feeling, brother, after yesterday's shambolic performance?
Disappointed, very disappointed, because United just loves embarrassing us. Like I was listening to Rory Jennings, just basically taking a pop at us, and taking a pop at Ralf and saying he talks too much. And I'm gonna have to go and chill with my cousin now. He's a Man City fan. He's gonna have me, And United does this to us always, and it sucks, honestly. And yeah, I know Ralf just has a lot of work. That's the only thing we can say.
Yeah, I think that is exactly what Ralf needs to do. And I'm gonna get into the show because on my left, that's not a predicted team. If Ralf is serious, he needs to pick this team. And I know Scott is still there, I know Maguire is still there, but Ralf always bangs on about physicality, so I think he just will pick Scott over Fred if he had to choose one. And like I said, I don't know if Pogba's going to be back for this game. It's a very quick turnaround. That's the other thing. And with regards to Victor Lindelof and Baye, I think Baye is already gone for the AFCON. And I think Victor is obviously still suffering with COVID, or that's what they say. So it'll have to be Maguire, unfortunately, unless he picks Phil Jones, which I personally prefer. I'd prefer playing 10 men without Maguire, to be honest. You might as well. Can't be any worse, to be honest. So, to be playing Burnley, low block FC, the only team Newcastle have really beaten this season. And you know how it is when we United take on Burnley. Bloody Burnley. We always slip up. We don't get the result. And I don't think it's going to be an easy game once again for United. And like I said, with United, you never know what you're going to get with United. One day we look like the best team in the world. The next day, we look like, what is that? What has happened? And I think some players, they need to get the absolute, I don't even know, the absolute hiding of a lifetime to be put in their place, because they don't understand how they are performing at United. They all like, I don't know what is wrong with them. They are playing on such a low level. And I spoke yesterday, Malota, I don't know if you watched my short videos about 5 areas that United went wrong, and I basically said, well, the lineup was wrong from the beginning, the formation really didn't suit us, and the players are not adapting to this formation, players' attitude, the intensity, and the substitutions, like, it was okay, but there was still no Donny coming on, Marshall wasn't even on the bench, it's just very weird. Rashford stayed on, so, like, I don't know what do you think is going to happen against Burnley, because obviously for me, I would find Burnley a harder game than Newcastle and Norwich. So,
yeah, I honestly think it's a psychology thing, it's a mentality thing, and I can say it's pressing better in this game. Why? Because we're playing at home, and I feel like these players' mentality is just that weak. And I've gone off. Can you still see me?
Yeah, we can see you.
Okay. I feel like these players' mentality is just that weak. Like, yes, under Ole, when we did play away, we did play predominantly on the counter. So I guess in that sense, you can't blame them, or you can blame them, but you can imagine why maybe they're more reserved when we're playing away games. But that needs to change, Like, these players need to run, these players need to care, You need to give heart. Because, as Ralf was saying after the game, that's a big part of it, If you just move the ball quickly, if you're just running more, if you're just pressing more, even if you're shit in the tactical side, you still play much better, It's not like Newcastle are amazing, but then they were just running, they were just hungry. So we need to see that at least. That's the reaction, the minimum reaction we need to see. And from Ralph's point of view and a tactical point of view, there's not much you can do in one training session. So the best you can do is players. Draw players who don't really fit the system, or who don't really fit the way we want to play. One, Rashford in general just needs to get dropped because he's shite at the moment. And then you need people who can actually make things happen with the ball. You need Sancho starting. Bruno, yes, he's been off, but then who else is going to play?
That's the thing. Yeah, that's the thing. You can't really drop him.
Yeah. And I would say, if I was going to take the person, I'd say Matic and Donny. But then maybe let's cool it off for Matic. But definitely Donny, because Donny can take care of the ball. Donny won't lose it willy-nilly. Donny can put the ball, can make passes, dangerous passes, and put the ball in a good area.
Simple dangerous passes, well, not even hero ball. We've seen Donny. Yeah. When was it? We've seen Donny have a game when he played in the pivot. Yes, he made that mistake, but he played really well in the pivot. Exactly.
Yeah. So those little things is the only thing Ralf can do right now, because you can't do much training. And I would drop Maguire. I would play Eric Bailly.
Maguire's
Does Ralf
gone
have
to
the balls to do
AFCON,
that?
I think. That's the only reason.
Ah.
That's the only reason I put
Yeah.
Maguire. But I 100% agree Maguire needs to get dropped. If Victor was here or Bayo was here, drop him.
Phil Jones.
Phil
I'm
Jones,
kidding.
put Luke Shaw left centre back, Tellers on the left back, I don't care. Drop him.
Yeah. It's a problem with Maguire. I mean, yes, he has his games, he has his spells.
Match
but then
centre back,
overall-
don't care. Put him there.
Overall, it's a disgrace, honestly. Like, I heard him yesterday making an excuse about COVID.
Yeah.
Like, we don't want
He
to
said,
hear it, mate.
You know, the
Don't wanna
intensity,
hear
yeah, Maguire was like, the intensity wasn't there, but I mean, you can kind of expect that. I don't want to make an excuse, but, you know, you can kind of understand with the whole COVID situation that we went at that level. I'm like, so just make an excuse. You said you don't want to make an excuse, but you just made an excuse. I absolutely despise Maguire. That's why I said,
He's not
when Ralf came in, there's only a few players who don't have clean slates with me. Scott and Maguire. Definitely those two don't have clean slates. And the rest, well, they just showed what they normally show, that they're still shit. So, anyways, moving on. This game, like you said, short turnaround, so Ralph's not going to have much time in the training ground. And I think it's still going to be tough because we're not a team that's scoring goals at the moment, and we are playing Burnley. So do you expect actually for the performance to go up a bit? Like, do you really expect them to start creating chances, see some sort of change? Because I'm not. I'm expecting a similar type of play style, and maybe the only difference this time is we can find a way to nick the game or just win the game. Because I don't know, even the way we conceded yesterday, it was a Varane and Maguire howler, and they had other chances. But genuinely, under Ralf so far, we don't score more than one goal, and we don't really concede more than one goal. And if that, we have been keeping somewhat of clean sheets, so it's been 50-50. I just don't know what you're going to get.
Yeah, I think when it comes to take care of the ball and, you know, looking like a team in the final third, that's just never going to happen overnight, sadly. Because, one, we're coming from Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, who was terrible at that. When these players are now coming over to Ralf, there's not much time to implement much changes in that aspect, and they're playing a different formation. So, I guess when you look at it like that, it was always going to happen. So, I just think it's going to be an intensity thing, as Ralf says. And I think them being at home, you know, that psychological thing, we're at home, the fans are behind us, they will probably press more, you know. It will probably will be a bit more similar to Crystal Palace than the last two games. But will it be enough? We'll see. With the players on show there, it should be enough.
But these players, maybe, yeah.
Yeah. But, you know, like, we just need to get on with it, you know. Time. Everybody's struggling with time, you know. So it is what it is. We just need to get on with it.
Okay, well, we're going to get into the team now, but before we get into the players, if you were Ralf, would you think about changing formation? There's some rumors saying that he might go with the 5 at the back and then, you know, play it like that. Obviously, with the low and as wing backs, so make what you will of that. Make what you will of that information, but there are some rumors that he could do that.
Yeah, no, I don't think Ralph's the tinker man. He's not on it, so I see this formation stay.
Well, Ralf says formations are overrated. You know, that's what he did say. Ralf said formations are overrated. You just play some players and in the system, and it doesn't really matter because on attack it's a 4-2-2-2, but then in defense it's like a back 5. You know, Ralf says all these things, so we never know.
Yeah, look, after the game he was insisting that it's not the formation. He was insisting that it was just about energy, and the formation is fine. The formation is fine. He kept saying that.
The intensity.
Yeah. So from that.
Now, sorry if you see a cut. Molocho just lagged out, but Molocho was speaking about the team formation and players and stuff.
Yeah, no, like I was saying, I just don't think Ralf is Ole. I don't think he's Tinkerman. So I think he will keep this formation because he has faith in this formation. The fact that it feels like it's very compact and teams can't play through it. And he kept insisting that the problem was a physical thing, you know. Like we weren't really in Newcastle's face. Well, they were in our faces, you know. So how he rectifies that, you know, I mean, he's been doing that all week. De Gea has been coming out talking about the intensity in training, and then they turn out that pile, you know. So what is Ralf supposed to do, you know? But you know, he has the reputation for being so brilliant. So I guess we trust in Ralf that he can rectify the situation and make us more physical, you know, and help us start games in a more physical and proactive and aggressive manner, you know? Because that is part of the problem. I mean, if you start aggressively with the players we have, you can score 2-3 goals in the first 20 minutes and the game is gone. So we need to kind of get that in our systems.
I agree with you, and that's why I think from now, as much as I like Ralf and things like that, the one thing Ralf needs to do now, and we'll get to it here, You gotta pick the ballers now. You gotta grow the spine. Anyone who's related to Ali, you sack them out. You just shuffle them, throw them out the team. Just throw. I don't care what you do with them. You gotta start throwing them out the team because they will throw you under the bus, and not just because they want to and they don't like you, just because they shit. That's just as simple as that, you know. So with this team, I think you have to leave De Gea, best player of the season. Without De Gea, God knows what's gonna happen to us. So let's just leave De Gea in there. You don't have to rotate the goalkeepers. It's okay. I think Delo has been good, and like I said, if you bring Aaron Bissaka here, maybe defensively it could be better, but going forward, okay, it's probably dead then. Then Varane will play. You have to just keep playing Varane because he's by far the best centre back, and as he plays more games, the less rusty he gets. So Varane plays. Maguire, like I said, Lindelof not here, Bayer is not here. He's not going to pick Phil Jones. So Maguire, unfortunately, whether we like it or not, he has to play. And left back, I would like to see Luke Shaw. I think that's a good rotation to bring in, and I think that Luke Shaw deserves a chance to show what he's still got. And I do think, like I said, Tellers really hasn't been lighting the world on fire yet. So I'd give Luke Shaw this game. What do you think about the defense?
Yeah, no, I think Tellers' stint has been exaggerated. He's been okay, honestly. And I think he's been leeching off Dallow's brilliance, even though Dallow was also average yesterday, to be honest. So, another person could argue, might as well play Wan-Bissaka because at least he makes it better defensively, So it's a tricky one. But then in Ralph's system, he needs these fullbacks to be pushing up. And Dallow assisted yesterday, so maybe I'm being harsh. But yeah, no, it's going to be interesting. I feel like the heart of any good team is midfield, And when you look at our team, we don't really have a problem in attack. Maybe you can't get the ball to the attackers.
Absolutely cannot get the ball to the attack.
Yeah. Besides Rashford, there's no problem in the attack. I think all the players are up to standard. Defensively, yes, Maguire's a headache, but we could play Varane and Lindelof, To be honest, I feel like I'm going on the trend a little bit now. We could play Bailly when he gets back. So the problem is in this midfield, the shape of it, and just how they can be good in terms of a defensive part of the midfield, and also offensively getting the ball to the forward players. And I can imagine Ralf is already planning for reinforcements in that position come Jan.
Definitely.
That is priority right now. So yeah, it's a yikes. But the simplest change, which Ari also refused, is Donny. Why? Why is it so difficult? It's Donny. He will make it. Maybe not perfect because defensively he's not perfect, but he will make it better.
Way better. Like you said, Donny will take you off the ball. He'll make the right passes. Defensively, he's not worse than Fred and Scott McTominay. I refuse to believe that he's worse than Scott and Fred. To be honest. So Donny, you put him in, and I think because we're gonna get there anyway. But because I want to see Donny, I think we'll do it instead of Fred. I wouldn't do it for Fred because I think Fred has been better than Scott McTominay. But just judging about Ralf, always speaking about physicality. Well, out of physicality, Scott McTominay is the most physical out of any of them. So I do believe if one of them did get dropped, it'll probably be Fred. So I think Donny will come in way better than Fred. And then instantly, you don't really lose anything because Donny is, if not as tenacious as Fred, his pass is better than Fred, his first touch is better than Fred. So you're not really missing anything. So bring Donny in. Then up front, you need Bruno and Sancho. Now, this is where it gets weird because this is where the shape changes from our normal team. So far it's fine. The 4-2, that's always been there, the pivot. But then up front, the next four is a bit weird. So I don't know how Bruno and Sancho cope in this style of formation. But regardless of the situation, they have to play. Bruno, you just can't drop him for anyone really. Pogba is not back yet, so Bruno has to play. And Sancho is just way better than Marcus Rashford when it comes to take care of the ball, keep things simple, holding possession and controlling the game. Rashford offers us absolutely nothing besides countless pointless runs, crosses that go out the stadium, shots that lead nowhere, and being offside the whole entire 90 minutes. So he needs to get dropped. He's by far, for me, been our worst player at United. So Rashford, for me, has to get dropped. So Sancho has to come back in the team, even if it's for fucking Mason or anyone else. He has to come back in the team. And I think Ronaldo, so you don't ever bench him. Ronaldo has to play, otherwise it's over for us. And then Cavani has to play because I think out of everyone, and he doesn't want to play Martial. And then with Cavani, I think he just has to play because Martial, like I said, he's not in the plans evidently. Who knows what the whole situation with Martial is. I would love Martial to play. I would even like Mason to play, to be honest. But I think Cavani is the second best thing that probably suits the system. So Ralf, for me, has to pick this team. I don't think he's going to. But I think that's the team he has to pick. I remember there was a time under Oli where I was like, if Oli really wants to change things around, he's got to start picking the right players. He's got to start picking some of the ballers, dropping some of the players, and he just never did it. And I tell you what, if Ralf is the same, you might as well pack your bags now because you're going to get the sack over time. And I don't want you upstairs then. If you can't make ruthless decisions like this as a manager, I don't want you to go upstairs on the board then. Because what does that show me? You're not ruthless enough. So, yeah.
I think a big problem we saw yesterday was probably one of the main problems on the Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, you know. There's too big a gap between the defensive players and the offensive players. And when we get caught on the turnover, you find that Fred suffers the most. Yes, I guess Scott as well, but Scott doesn't care. He just seems to just wait and it's fine, they can pass. But Fred ends up losing the ball, you know, and making wayward tackles because we're getting caught in the counterweight too many times and he's being left to deal with it alone, you know. So, yes, I know Fred is bad, but then I feel like that is a little bit of an excuse. And a solution, which Ralf is the perfect person to implement it, is to press from the front, you know, press as a team, you know, win the ball as a team. But since the Crystal Palace game, that's just left our systems again. It's just we're refusing to play it, you know.
I think it's the players. I honestly think it's the players. I think the players are like, we can't do this, so we're just going to play volleyball. I'm like, what the fuck? It's like, what are they doing? That's what I'm saying. These players, mentally, I'd give them a hiding. All of them, I'd just give them a proper hiding. Physically, honestly, I'll be like Sir Alex. I kick the boot at the head. I'd be like, hey, what do you guys think? You guys are wasting my time. You know, that's how much it would mean to as a United manager and just United fan in general. I think we'd all be lying if we said, if we as a United fan were in the dressing room, we wouldn't give them a lecture and a hiding of a lifetime to sort them out, you know. So, what would Roy Keane do if he was in that team? Just think about that, you know. Sometimes we're too soft. That's just the reality. We're too soft and too nice on these players. We just are. They really need to learn a lesson, these guys, because I don't know who they think they are, but they're not who they think they are, that's for sure. So, but yeah, Moroto. Do you agree with this team, though, that I set out? Would you like to see, what would you change from this team personally?
Yeah, no. So on the tactical side, we just need to press as a team, you know. And if we do that, it'll be much better for all the players. And I'm willing to give Fred a benefit of the doubt because, as we keep saying, he probably will work for Ralf, you know. So we need to press as a team. Come on, guys. These ones are so frustrating. And then, front four, I think it's this one.
You know what I was actually thinking now? Sorry to cut you off, but I was thinking, even if he plays McFred, why isn't Donny playing next to Bruno as well? Since Rashford and Sancho have been poor. It just came to me now because Donny will do exactly what you want. He'll fit any one of these four positions. Donny will fit in. So
maybe he's looking for width because I can imagine he wants maybe one of those two or both of them to go a bit wide from time to time and bring that width, you know. So I can imagine that's the only reason he might want to play.
But that's why he plays these type of fullbacks because that's where the width is supposed to be. Also,
True. That's a good point. Yeah, I think after. I keep saying this, but I think after such an abysmal performance and seeing Ralph's reaction on the sideline, I do expect some shake-up, you know.
Yeah.
So let's just wait and see, you know. But I like Sancho. I think Sancho should play because I think when you talk about control, you know, and creativity, Sancho's your man, you know. Yeah. So if we can get the best out of him, it'll be brilliant. And then Bruno, I never want to see Bruno playing a false nine next to Ronaldo type of thing like he was doing against Newcastle. That was a bad idea. And he should be in the midfield and controlling the pace and the tempo of the game, you know. So I think the front foot can work. But as Ralf was saying, number one, physicality, you know. I don't know what we need to do, you know, to carry it over from training to the pitch consistently, you know. Because under Ole, there's been glimpses of us being physical and we're like, okay, maybe we can play like Liverpool. And then the next game, we're horrible again, you know. So I don't know what it's going to take for us to do it consistently, but we need it.
That's what I'm saying, you know. They liked Oli. Why? Because Oli was easy, you know. They played their lives off for Oli because Oli was easy. Now when Ralf asks you to do simple things, everyone seems to throw their toys out the pram. I'd question some of these players. Honestly, I start questioning some of these players. So let's just see what happens. Before we give our score predictions, Moloto, according to Google, as you know how it is on this channel now, there's a 70% chance, according to Google, that United win this game. 18% draw, 12% Burnley. But with United, one thing I tell Google, might as well put 50-50 every fucking week because you never know United. You never know what you're going to get. You might get the world-class United and be like, you know, walk-over teams. Or you might get the trash United and it doesn't end well. So let's just see what happens. But yeah, with regard to the score prediction, Moloto, what do you think?
Yeah, no, I've been going big in the last 3 games. And like, I'm hesitant to do that. Even though I do once again think there will be a turnaround, but with this club, maybe we just need to put that sentiment aside. And I don't know. I didn't want to say realistic because to me it isn't realistic. I don't know why. What's wrong with this club? Because we have the players, we have the manager, and things should work out. But we shall see. I think it's going to be an interesting game. I'm going to go for a 2-0 United. Just play it safe a little. I think we're just going to have too much of Burnley. We're going to have a low block. We're going to try keep us out. But eventually, because we're at home, we'll press high. And, we'll get the goals.
Okay. I think this got a rule written over it. I think we only score max of 1 goal. We concede every time we play, really, so don't have confidence in keeping a clean sheet. So I think we'll score 1. Ronaldo, maybe. And Burnley will probably score 1. And this is, like I said, it's a weird game for United, Burnley. So let's just see what happens. Like I said, it depends a lot on the team he picks. If he doesn't really change the team and doesn't rotate the squad, I think this result could happen still. I think if we play the same team we played against Newcastle, against Burnley, we're going to slip up and we're going to drop some more points again. So let's just see what happens. Anyway, subscribe if you're new, smash a like on the video. Malot and I will check you soon. Have a good rest of the day, and let's just see United just get the win, and we'll see you all very soon. Goodbye.